At this time, I ask that we all please rise for our national anthem. Please be seated. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the faculty and staff of Cosumnes River College, I want to welcome you to our commencement celebration. I am Dr. Edward Bush, and I have the honor and privilege of serving as president of this dynamic college. It is my pleasure to welcome the graduates and their families and friends to this wonderful occasion, a ceremony that signifies the accomplishments of our students' educational goals and celebrates their academic achievement. As we begin the festivities, I want to thank the Cosumnes River College Concert Band and Professor Grant Parker for the beautiful musical accompaniment to our processional and their performance of our national anthem. I'll begin the ceremony by first introducing our stage participants and guests, and I will ask for you to stand once I say your name. Ms. Halima Ide, President, Student Senate. Ms. Kamiko Danae McKnight, Student and Keynote Speaker. Dr. Kimberly McDaniel, Vice President, Student Services and Enrollment Management. Dr. Jamie Nye, Vice Chancellor of Instruction for the Los Rios Community College District. Ms. Pamela Haynes, President, Los Rios Board of Trustees. And beginning from my far left, we have Ms. Jennifer Patrick, President, Classified Senate. Ms. Shannon Mills, President, Academic Senate. Mr. Corey Wathen, Vice President, Administrative Services and Student Support. Dr. Robert Montanez, Vice President for Instruction and Student Learning. And Ms. Ruth Scribner, Los Rios Board of Trustees. We are honored to have such distinguished guests, and we thank them for their support and participation in tonight's commencement ceremony. At this time, I would like to call upon Trustee Pamela Haynes to bring you greetings on behalf of the Los Rios Board of Trustees.
Thank you, President Bush, for the introduction. It is a great privilege and honor to be here tonight alongside my fellow trustee, Ruth Scribner. On behalf of the entire Los Rios Community College Board of Trustees, I'm proud to welcome all the families, friends, faculty, and staff who are with us tonight. Most importantly, though, it is my pleasure to welcome tonight's graduates. You are here tonight as a result of extraordinary effort, discipline, and determination. I'm certain there were many times along the way when you weren't sure you were going to make it, when many of you were juggling a full-time job with your class load, trying to figure out how to pay for books or for the rent. I'm certain a number of you thought about giving up, but yet you didn't. And here you are today. When you walk across the stage in a very short while, I want you to savor the moment and remember the pride you feel. In life, you will continue to face challenges that test your will and your resolve. William Shakespeare once famously said that it is not the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. You have shown that you have the power to persevere. You have the power to overcome obstacles to achieve your goals. In time, some of the specific knowledge that you have gained in college will fade. You will forget passages from historical literature. You will forget mathematical theorems. I know I have. But what I hope you will never forget is that you have the power and the ability to do whatever you set your mind to. It is a world full of opportunity, so go out there and make your own destiny. On behalf of the entire Board of Trustees, congratulations on your enormous success. We are all extremely proud of you. Now, please join me in welcoming the Cosumnes River College Academic Senate President, Shannon Mills.
Good evening and welcome to commencement. Thank you so much for being here today. This is my favorite event we have every year, but it is actually a very challenging thing for me to be here on this stage tonight. I'm used to being in the back over there with all of our other supportive faculty members and staff, as I have been every year for over a decade now, sitting with a handful of Kleenex and getting pretty emotional over many of the soon-to-be leaving us graduates that I've had the privilege of working with during their careers here at CRC. As mentioned, my name is Shannon Vallone Mills, and I'm standing up here because I'm the Academic Senate President here at CRC, but I also teach anthropology. Some of you sitting here today have been through my classes, have been to my office, and I've met you through other various events. Some of you are probably still wondering what anthropology is. And for those of you out there who don't know, don't worry, you're definitely not alone. For the most part, we study humanity in a variety of forms, but we are not the dinosaur people. I have to explain this to a lot of people, including many of the students who walk into my classroom for the first time. Most of them are pretty confused about the subject, and especially at how this could become someone's career choice. And then I have to admit that it wasn't exactly how I started out or what I got my first degree in. In fact, I did a very sensible thing when I first got to college, and I probably took the path that my parents hope that many of their children will take, and I got a degree in a local community college in accounting. My father was happy because he figured I would be able to help him out in his retirement, and if nothing else, I might be able to help him buy his new dream truck. Clearly, things didn't work out quite as my parents had initially planned. I found my passion in learning about fossils and primates and forensic science and in studying human culture. My family, on the other hand, wondered how I would ever pay my bills with such a major. I had to reconcile these ideas, and I left my practical major of accounting behind. While it might sound like at first I had made a wrong turn or a poor choice, or that I wasted precious time in my life, I don't see it that way at all. There are many things I know now about the decisions I made and the time I spent in earning my first accounting degree. I learned how to become a good student, how to appreciate my education, and how to actually think critically for myself. And I learned how to develop a plan of action for what would become the next stages of my adult life. I also learned a great set of job skills that I utilize to this day in many aspects of my life and my career. And when I consider how important it is to have achieved these various abilities, especially how to adapt when change is on the horizon, and to see that sometimes the only person holding you back is yourself, I wouldn't change these decisions despite ending up in a totally different career. And for all I know, I may end up with a variety of completely different jobs before someone eventually forces me into retirement. Now, this might all sound a little bit frightening, given that all of you are here with a very specific degree or certificate that you're going to pick up here momentarily. But you are ready to take the next step. Whether that means getting your next real job, or transferring to a university, or being able to say that you have reached your hard-earned goal. And I take your accomplishments very seriously. And I know because it took me years to get that first accounting degree. I had to get there on my own, and it was really, really hard. I know that the average student changes their major a couple of times, and I know that I'm not the only adult to change careers multiple times in their life. I'm not saying these things to make you wonder if you've made the right decision or if you picked the right degree or got the right certificate. I want to assure you that you did. Graduates, you are here because you have accomplished no small feat. You may choose to stay on the path that you're on because you already love it with all your heart. Or you might decide that you need to change directions completely. But whatever happens, you have made it this far, you have developed a skill set, and you have built a solid foundation for whatever it is that you choose to do next. I am so, so proud to see every single one of you take this step today. And I hope you know that it is the beginning and not a finale. So congratulations to every single one of you sitting here today, and thank you. And now please join me in introducing Jennifer Patrick, CRC's Classified Senate President, and the Vice President of Administrative Services and Student Support, Corey Wathen.
Good evening, graduates, families, and friends. As she said, my name is Jennifer Patrick, and I'm the Classified Senate President here at Casumna Silver College. And I just want to say that I am so proud of all of you here today. Whether or not we have a personal relationship, I really feel like we're family here. I've been here 18 years, and this is my family, and you're part of that. I know that all of you have been through struggles and challenges. You've made sacrifices to make it to where you are today. I graduated from CRC also, class of 2001. It took me 5 years to get through my program, so trust me, I can empathize with many of your struggles. However, as a fellow CRC graduate, I would like to be the first to welcome you to the CRC alumni family. Graduating from CRC, I never dreamed that one day I would be on this side of the ceremony, standing on stage addressing the graduates. At that point in my life, it probably would have been more like a nightmare. But seriously, I'm very happy to be here today with all of you in this place, and I can honestly tell you that I do love what I do every day. I love my career, and it all started right there where you're at right now. So that is my hope for you to be in a place that you want to be, for you to be able to say that you love what you do, and that you are not just going to work every day because you have to, but because you have a passion for what you do. I can tell you, though, I would not be in this place today if I did not take advantage of some opportunities that I had along the way. Those opportunities sometimes meant that I had to step outside of my comfort zone and take some chances. It was not always easy, and sometimes a little scary, but I can tell you I do not have any regrets. So my message is this: do not be afraid to take chances. Step outside of your comfort zone, even if it's just a little bit, and take advantage of those opportunities for growth that come your way. You may just end up in the most unexpected place, which is also the most rewarding. Now, many of you know me as the supervisor of the Child Development Center on campus, and as such, I am going to end with an appropriate quote from the most prominent doctor of philosophy in my world, Dr. Seuss. And I cannot do this without holding the book because that's what I do. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You are on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the one who will decide where to go. I will leave you with those words from Dr. Seuss and wish you well on your journey, whichever direction you choose. Thank you.
We have 6 classified staff members who retired throughout the year. I want to take a moment to thank each one of them. Deborah Weber, child development teacher, 19 years. Bernadita Juarez, custodian, 12 years. Eugene Nakanishi, custodian, 20 years. Elaine Morgan, library media tech assistant, 13 years. Nak Nguyen, child development teacher, 17 years, and Ron Stalemo, custodian, 29 years.
Now I'm sure I'm breaking every commencement protocol that was ever written by coming off the stage to talk to you. But this year I decided that I wanted to be close to the graduating class of 2018. Because I heard it was something special about you and I wanted a little of it to rub off on me. Thank you, Corey and Jennifer. I'm excited to be here tonight. Thank you all for coming out to the Cosumnes River College to show your support of our graduates. Thanks also to the faculty and staff who are here tonight. I could tell you that these are some of the most committed and passionate people that I know. They are the very foundation of this college with a diversity of backgrounds, experiences, and wisdom. I am sure that you can each attest to someone on this campus who has made a difference in your path to getting here tonight. For us, commencement is a true demonstration of the work we do, and it's a pleasure to celebrate and honor you. To get something you have never had, you have to do something you never did. The author of this quote is unknown, but it is a perfect way to begin my comments to you, our graduates. This evening, you are seeing the results of what you have been working towards for the last 2, 3, 4, or maybe more years. Today, you are the results of the seeds you planted when you made higher education a priority in your life. Often, commencement is used as an opportunity to discuss the life that is ahead of you. But tonight, I want to use this as an opportunity for you to reflect on what you planted and what you are now harvesting. As someone who sees students come and go from the college, it is always amazing for me to see the transformation that occurs for many of you. You come to us in many ways, directly from high school, out of the military. You come back after some time off to raise a family or wanting to change a career. Regardless of where you come from, you have transformed during your time here at CRC. Let's focus for a brief moment on this concept of time. Often we subscribe a level of power to this idea of time that it does not deserve. For example, we have been taught that time heals all wounds or that everything gets better with time, but these axioms are not true. Perhaps I can better illustrate what I mean by sharing a personal story. You see, I've been wanting to plant a garden for years. In fact, I talk about it all the time. Not only do I talk about it, but I've also done my research. I figured out when I needed to plant the seeds, how long it would take to grow, and when would be the right time to harvest. Seriously, I've been planning this for years, but I never gotten around to it. And every year when I get to the season of harvest, I lament because I realize that if I only had done the necessary work of planting the seeds in the previous season, I would be enjoying the benefits of what I planted in this season. What I learned is that time by itself does not produce anything, and it is what you do with your time is vastly more important than time itself. With this in mind, class of 2018, I don't celebrate you today because you graduated. I celebrate you because you had the discipline, courage, commitment, and faith to plant and to nurture a seed before you were able to see the harvest. You did not leave it up to time. You made a decision to do something powerful with the time that you were given. Graduates, the seeds you have planted by attending CRC will serve you well in the future. The nights you stayed up late studying, coming to class after your shift at work, making arrangements for your family so that you could advance your education. You now have the formula to succeed for here on out. The first step was making a sacrifice to do the work of putting something valuable in the ground. You were patient and you tended the soil and the seed when you could not yet see what the results would be. You persisted through the various conditions that each season brought. You did not pick the fruit before it was ready. You are now prepared to harvest your future. And there is nothing more exciting than to see those seeds bloom over time because of the sacrifice that you decided to make. And my hope is that you will continue to reap the rewards from the degree you have earned and what you did with the time that you have spent here. A whole garden isn't created overnight, and neither is the dream life. As you leave here, focus on the positives and know that you will see progress in turning your life into what you have always wanted. Also, a seed must change to grow. It cannot stay a seed forever. To really experience positive change, you too must embrace the transformation that has already taken place in you and the changes yet to come. You too have something new to offer. People will recognize the change in you. Be open to the world around you. Take it all in. Contribute. Be a participant in life and develop into the person you want to be. And most importantly, plant new seeds. And now that you know how to plant the seeds, you have the formula, you know what's required. New challenges will no longer seem daunting. I know there are likely several of you that are the first in your family to receive a college degree. I commend you for this accomplishment and ask you to continue to encourage others around you to do the same. We know that you, your families, and our communities benefit from those who have a college degree. Now, you are always part of the CRC family, and after more than 45 years of service to this community and educating more than 250,000 students, CRC will be here to educate thousands more in the years ahead. You didn't get here without some help, right? From family, for friends, maybe co-workers, undoubtedly the wonderful faculty and staff here at CRC helped you along the way as well. All of these people watered the seeds to help you grow. So graduates, I'd like to ask you to stand and acknowledge those who are here today and those who was not able to make it to be here with you. I ask that you give them a round of applause. And those of you in the audience, please help me acknowledge the hard work and dedication it took for our graduates to be here today. Be seated. You can be seated. Thank you. For those of us who work at CRC, commencement is the true demonstration of the work we do. It renews and energizes us to know we have helped you reach an educational milestone on your path in life. I know that many of you have made lifetime friends while you were here and will stay in touch with your professors and other mentors. We love hearing about your continued journey, so make sure to stay connected. You are now alumni and part of the CRC family. One final quote. This one is from Henry David Thoreau. Though I do not believe that a plant will spring up where no seed has been, I have great faith in a seed. Convince me that you have a seed there, and I am prepared to expect wonders. I expect wonders from each of you as well. I hope you feel as I do that you have planted some seeds and transformed during your time here. Go out and start planting new seeds in your life. And congratulations on everything you have accomplished so far. Congratulations, class of 2018. And now I'd like to call the Vice President of Instruction, Dr. Robert Montanez, and Academic Senate President Shannon Mills to the podium.
When faculty retire, we have a tradition of taking special notice of this occasion through the conferral of faculty emeritus status, as symbolized by a medallion we present to them out of our respect and gratitude for their years of service to this institution as well as to its students. Tonight, we give recognition to 4 of our faculty and bestow the medallion.
I would like to announce the names of retiring faculty and call to the stage those who are here with us tonight who will receive this recognition. Everett Bud Hannon, psychology professor, 42 years. Is Bud here tonight? Monica Cranston, counselor, 37 years. Catherine Hooper, English professor, 25 years. And Kim Cadella, humanities professor, 15 years.
In recognition of these retirees, it is my honor to state that, by the authority vested in me by the Los Rios Board of Trustees, I confer upon retired faculty the title Emeritus. Congratulations. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Halima Idias, President of the Student Senate of Cosumnes River College.
Thank you, Robert. Assalamu alaikum and a happy Ramadan. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and congratulations to our graduates. It is an honor for me to introduce our commencement student speaker. She is the youngest of 4 girls, and at CRC, her major is Behavioral and Social Sciences. She is part of the Emoja Diop Scholars Program and was a member of the Sister to Sister Mentoring Group. She is active in her community through Carrie's Touch, an African American breast cancer organization, and performs as a poet throughout Sacramento. She is developing a candy and dessert business called Cookies Sweet Treats. Her motto is, "Tough times don't last, but tough people do." Can we all give a warm welcome to Ms. Kamiko McKnight?
Good evening. To our beloved president of the college, Dr. Edward Bush, administration, faculty members, fellow graduates, family, and friends. According to the late Barbara Bush, if more people could read, write, and comprehend, we could be much closer to solving so many of the problems of our country today. As we sit here in completion of this part of our educational journey, the first step in all of the opportunities that have been afforded to each and every one of us, and our steadfast dedication, I look out and I see a diverse group of difference makers. I see a group of people that have broken the molds and become, for most of us, more than what society said that we could do or be. On my first day of class at CRC, my initial arrival, as you can see, I wasn't straight out of high school. And as I looked around, I began to think that the only person older than me was my professor. And some of you may have been the oldest in your class or the first person in your family to ever go to college. It was intimidating to enter into this new environment. And let me not forget about getting up at sunrise to make my way to math class. And I'm sure that some of you agree you were not sure why x plus 3 equaled 24. And why letters were mixed in with numbers, but we fought on, succeeded, and not only that, we triumphed. As a person of color, a woman, a person with a disability, I don't fit into the box of what society says is the norm for a college student. I am the triangle that doesn't fit inside of the circle. And like many of you, I have struggled to liberate myself through education and the seeking of knowledge. There were days that I showed up with supplies in hand, ready to conquer the task, and then there was days that showing up was all that I could do. And this may sound familiar to some of you, but I want to say thank you for all of you who didn't allow me to become another hashtag. Dr. Teresa Aldridge, who I promised that I would graduate before she retired. And Professor Jeannie Calamar, who reminded me every day that, homie, I was more than my disability. Since its founding in 1970, there are countless faculty, staff, and personnel at Cosumnes River College that have lived by the motto, commitment, quality, and innovation. Commitment to meeting our community needs, quality programs and services for students, and innovative teaching techniques. It has lived up to this motto as CRC has become my second home, where instructors are more like family and genuinely care about the student body. It is a place that reminds me of the place that Martin Luther King dreamed about. A place where people, regardless of race, religion, or sexual orientation, are afforded the same opportunities. From the moment that we are born, we are all systematically and indivisibly categorized with labels. Black, Asian, Arab, immigrant, disabled, LGBT. But it's up to us as a class of 2018 not to be marginalized. Each and every person must stand, rise, and go out and change the trajectory of this world. As a vital part of this campus community, a countless number of professors and staff, from the writing lab to the janitors, have helped not only me, but all of us be the best. We have all at one time or another had to endure our own share of hardships and pain, but as you can see, we triumphed, we overcame, and we will not stop here, but we will take advantage of all the opportunities that cross our path. So today, I stand here, a girl fighting stage 4 cancer. I can find my voice, speak my truth, and earn my degree. And as I close, I am reminded of a quote by Mark Twain. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the things that you did. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, and catch the trade winds in your sail. Explore, dream, and discover. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Kimiko. I don't know how I got the privilege of coming after that speech, but anyway, I'm Kimberly McDaniel, Vice President of Student Services, and my first order of business is to acknowledge and ask our faculty emeriti to stand. We have 3, and I would like to acknowledge you this evening. So I'm going to share a few fun facts about the class of 2018. There are 1,062 graduates and candidates in this year's class, of which 385 are men and 677 are women. Yes. Now, of course, all 1,062 are not here today. We wouldn't fit. There are 246 students graduating with highest honors, and that means they have a grade point average of 3.5 and above. So let's give them a round of applause. "16 students have an impressive GPA of 4.0. You will notice these students are wearing gold tassels. Some of them are also wearing gold stoles as an indication of their membership in Phi Theta Kappa, the National Honor Society. There are 467 students graduating with honors with a grade point average of 3.0 and above. The average grade point average for the class is 3.10, and let's give them all a round of applause. Our graduates represent students who come here at different phases of their lives, as we just learned from our keynote speaker, Kimiko, and with varying interests. This year, our youngest graduate is 18, and our eldest graduate is 71. 912 of the graduates are receiving an AA degree, and 616 are receiving AS degrees. Some graduates receive more than a single degree. Please join me in acknowledging all of their accomplishments and wishing them well. Please welcome Trustee Scribner to the podium for the conferring of the degrees.
Thank you, Vice President McDaniel, and welcome everyone. I am the designated representative of the Los Rios Community College District Board of Trustees for tonight's conferral of degrees. That's the moment you've all been waiting for. Will the candidates for a degree from Cosumnes River College please stand? So I have been assured that the 2017-2018 candidates have met the requirements and achieved the appropriate level of academic performance required for the Associate in Arts or Associate in Science degrees from Cosumnes River College. And so, on behalf of the Los Rios Community College District Board of Trustees, and by the authority vested in me by the state of California, we now confer upon you the appropriate degree of Associate in Arts or Associate in Science. You may now move your tassels to the left side of your cap to signify your graduation. Congratulations. Will the graduates now please be seated, except for those in the first row, as we begin to award the diplomas.
Thank you, Trustee Scribner. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for. As the stage party makes their way to the front of the stage to assist with the diplomas, I ask student speaker Kamiko McKnight, who has the honor of becoming the first recipient of the 2018 CRC diplomas, to make her way to the front of the stage as well. Professors Lisa Marchand and Marcus Geisler, please step to the podiums to read the names of the graduates. Out of respect for all our graduates, I would ask that everyone please remain throughout the entire ceremony until all graduates have received their diplomas. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kamiko McKnight.
Yesenia Sanchez.
Kimberly Sun.
Juan Galan.
Farida Sarwari.
Buchra Buchani.
Nicolette Brennan.
Srey Pav Touch.
Christina Kumar.
Saer Hasek.
Leonard Clark.
Arpana Lata.
Chandler O'Brien.
Guadalupe Fierros.
Shauna Bailey.
Isabel Padilla.
Jeff Tarifa.
Myra Gomez.
Bryce Christensen.
Jennifer Solis.
Leonard Little.
Mali Cha.
Jenny Zapata.
Brianna Nguyen.
Ryan Straub.
Joven Situ.
Freddie Gallardo.
Cinnamon Carty.
Giselle Peña Cortes.
Diana Clark.
Anna Ditoyu.
Dejanae Van Dyke.
Hector Soriano.
Vanessa Garcia.
Juan Fontes.
Shakira Grand.
Neng Bang.
Fernanda Mendoza.
Latoya Holmes Green.
Jessica Ribiera.
Unique Buffington.
Stephen Bryla.
Ruben Castillo.
Kenisha Deed.
Brittany Sturgeon.
Uyen Trung.
Jennifer Singh.
Janae Washington.
Valentino Robinson.
Christopher Mirazzo.
Logan Aguirre.
Yesenia Salcedo Mañana.
Samantha Witt.
Olivia Ramirez.
Sheila Jones.
Jacelyn Alvarez.
Kristen Lorenzen.
William Rhodes.
Ziling Zai.
Patricia Brown.
Pangjai Tao.
Justin Martinez.
Kin Sen.
Chinyeri Osborne.
Thong Lai.
Cheyenne Borden Allen.
Kwe Huen.
Cynthia Casillas Beeson.
Ada Cerda.
Marcus McClinton.
Eddie Treadway.
Brianna Carpio.
Shuangzhou.
Arzu Rahimi.
Moinshet Ficadu.
Joseph Saturn.
Stephanie Kabitak.
Juan Cuevas.
Carly Lopez.
Cesar Huerta.
Ricardo Rangel Reyes.
Brandy Jones.
Sartera Daniels.
Jaleel Nelson.
Gabriela Aguilar Ochoa.
Yvette Rodriguez.
Alia Villarreal.
Shivani Maharaj.
Lisa Joy Balanai.
Chad Gaitan.
Rajelyn Rata.
Bradley Anderson.
Shirley Sanders.
John Gilbert Saludas.
April Young.
Junior Fan.
Mia Thornton.
Nick Ban.
Angela Smith.
Johnny Dwan.
Avi Chantavichit.
Der Chang.
Tran Pham.
Edward Boatwright.
Catherine Brianne McGow.
Kaylin Times.
Anna Stevenson.
Mary Bankus.
Huang Nguyen.
Yazan Al-Kailani.
Maria Padua Passes.
Gerardo Villanueva.
Caleb Hansen.
Grant Edbert Lozada.
Jared Lee.
Lam Nguyen.
Courtney Lee.
Warren Whitehead III.
Kim Chung.
Kayla Whitehead the first.
Tu Vo.
Ashley Martinez.
Diana Atkins.
Mark Bang.
Kaylee Osterman.
Long Nguyen.
Raul Vasquez.
Quinn Vo.
Ginger Ota.
Helen Nguyen.
Robin Cherry.
Tup Tao.
Anthony Lawless II.
Hannah Nguyen.
Alejandra Trejo.
Ji Dung.
Karina Gill.
Tui Tran.
Nayeli Rojas Gonzalez.
Serena Cordero.
Kinza Batul.
Gloria Gutierrez.
Lola Chase.
Marissa Cano.
Ioata Ioapo.
Ruby Olivares Quilan.
Eric Fisher.
Maria Rodriguez.
Bankan Nguyen.
Christina Coulter.
Cindy Saturn.
Raichelle Ramand.
Justin Tran.
Alexandra Fullerton.
Kelly Martinez.
Benjamin Rocio.
Alexandra Arcado.
Julie Lay.
Alize Shaw.
Nathaniel Yarrison.
Jose Hernandez Medina.
Aja Adels.
Lazaro Perez.
Miriam Calderon Balderas.
Gabriela Gomez.
Joseph Nguyen.
Arias Mendoza.
Kylie Carpenter.
Brianna Ram.
Neil Anthony Chang.
Vanessa Aguilar Merino.
Magnus Chu.
Lauren Glantz.
Jack Wang.
Song Mua.
Martin Herejon.
Sabrina Granados.
Nidhi Bhutani.
Rachel Jacobs.
Jillian August.
Chuche Inskip.
Thomas Joseph Macariola.
Minyi Liu.
Jason Rhodes.
Bethlehem Girma.
Eric Bell Jr.
Stephen Inks.
Julio Sanchez.
Jennifer Kang.
Kayla Velasquez.
Jelani Oliver.
Mariah Peck.
Marissa Bradley.
Brandon Sherfe.
Angelina Paxton.
Dylan Chui.
Sidika Nori.
Darren Khan.
Aisha Nori.
Alexandra Matern.
Fatima Nori.
David Harley.
Amanda Pitts.
Marina Marcus.
Shayanika Jackson.
Ivana Stevenson.
Kathalicia Gibbons.
Aaliyah Hurt.
Sophia Mateen Lemus.
Myra Lepe Lopez.
Erikisha Bannerman Richter.
Maria Hernandez Mendez.
Alejandro Orozco Fernandez.
Luis Mora.
Raymond Gonzalvo.
Sor Chia Yang.
Giovanni Angel Hernandez.
Kyle Jacovetta.
Jesus Vasquez.
James Jacovetta.
Ajaz Afghani.
Fernando de la Rosa.
Rachel Gonzalez.
Nathan Smith.
Sonia Esmeralda Garcia.
Ma Fatma Pascual.
Violeta Garcia Sanchez.
Angelica Teresa Galos.
Horacio Garcia.
Monique Chung.
Daniel Vittoria.
Rutvi Patel.
Erica Lopez.
Paulina Liu.
Talia Ochoa.
Joel Cabriga.
Ariel Markham.
Brandon George.
Sang Lee.
Ruben San Luis.
Erwin Jordan de la Cruz.
Mariah Stoddard.
Jessica Arriaga.
Jennifer Ware.
Alexandria Bao.
Selena Bui.
Bianca Velasquez.
Heather Clausen.
Na Le.
Gerardo Garcia Pardo.
Olivia French.
Sarah Harms.
Judith Harvey.
Dina Spring.
Stacy Steffes.
Taylor Tagg.
Aaliyah Bassett.
Michelle Burnt.
Rena L.
Mallory Williams.
Jaslyn Lee.
Abigail Gabriel.
Samuel Elmore.
Janet Gomez Hernandez.
Jason Nguyen.
Kimber Wachholtz.
Janie Vang.
Riley Arnett.
Patricia Basaldua Sanchez.
Kulvinder Baines.
Sandra Rodriguez.
Christopher Halliman.
Vin Nguyen.
Brandy Mitchner.
Nathaniel Yamamoto.
Hannah Rios.
May K. Ho.
Anthony Law.
Judith Olivas.
Brian Lopez Hernandez.
Chanel Hyde.
Diana Nagtalon.
Elaine Ho.
Alea Muzzle Laucho.
Brian Santos.
Denisha Calhoun.
Tiffany Wong.
Yukiko Hansen.
David Matson.
Julia Sely.
Mark Manalak.
Jason Rock.
Jalen Crump.
Jack Wright.
Sarah Johnson.
Maria Wilson Starks.
Mazamil Ali.
Elizabeth Chan.
Cody Nguyen.
Rime Liu.
Andrea Passion.
Mariana Hernandez Garcia.
Anong Chakoya.
Taylor Stubblefield.
Jampi Ku.
Samantha Clifford.
Autumn Pedaway.
Caitlin Tracy.
Christine Singh.
Madeline Tobia.
Diane Sheffield.
Micaela Gomes.
Alex Contreras.
Stephanie Chan.
Jerome Becker.
David Schlesinger.
Joelle Lachelle Baker.
April Crosby.
Joanna Ramagoza.
Rachel Tanner.
Sume Lai Zong.
Shalisa Moreno.
Patrick Ladoc.
Andrea Capuzzo.
Lydia Renaga.
Amy Hector.
David Fernandez.
Kaylee Stariha. Bridget Roberts. Jacqueline Moore. Ludmila Clementieva. Patricia Ann Hinahan. Sylvia Parga. Kimberly Zhang. Yulia Bychuk. Nadezhda Linsky. Dao Zhang. Sitara Toki. Tanya Moki. Samuel Perez.
Graduates, please stand and be recognized by the audience. Congratulations, graduates. We wish you the best as you continue on your journey from CRC. We hope you continue to stay connected to the college by joining the CRC Alumni Association through social media, and let us know what you're doing as you reach your academic and career goals. And now I ask the audience members to remain seated until both the graduates and faculty have marched out of the auditorium. Thank you all for being here, and good night.